Faster grommet. Clean my shed. Alright, time for a new video. Had the kiddo out here today helping me clean up. She's done an awesome job. I think she did most of the work, but got plenty of room to move. So, aim of the game today is the transmission is coming out of this, and I'm going to try and do it without pulling the engine out at the same time. Powering through things already. Got the top of the dump pipe off, got the main exhaust off. About to drop the rear exhaust section down. That's the middle bit's the last bit to come out. Tail shaft's already off, it's over there, can't really see it, but it's over there. Yeah, kicking along. Drained 15 litres of fluid without a sump plug. How messy could it be? Well, that wasn't too bad. Got most of the fluid out. I've just left some in the bottom of the pan, but there's a bit of a cluster of something metallic. Oh, something grot there is built up. I don't know what it is, near the magnet. So I'd be betting that something's failed directly above that in the transmission, because this was clean when it went in. But it could just be normal wear as well, I suppose. Interesting. Back at it today. Remove the starter motor. Need the starter motor to get to the torque converter bolts, which I'm working on now. So just a quick peek from under the car. Yes, I did disconnect the battery first. Starter motor's off. Torque converter bolts go through here, so they're quite easily to get to from there. I can undo that with one hand and hold the balancer bolt from that end, so that works pretty well. Transcooler lines are disconnected and capped at the casing end. I've just let them drip overnight. What else have I done? I think that's pretty much it for the moment, but I'll keep working on these converter bolts now. Okay, torque converter is all disconnected. I've just popped that with the pry bar just to show that it's separated, and a bit of a sanity check to make sure I've actually got all the bolts. But that's done now. The next struggle is going to be, I need to get up there, which you can't really see, and unbolt the dipstick. I can't see the bolt. I can't get to the bolt from the top or the bottom, but I need to do it. So fun. I just unplugged and unbolted all the electrics while I was under here before getting into the dipstick, because I will forget about it later. And I've just tucked it up with the screamer pipe in there, so when the trans comes out, nothing's going to get snagged. The Prindle plugs are glued in, so I just took the whole Prindle switch off and put the rod back on. So that's an easy way to deal with it, I think. And how's this for a win? If you look right up there, you can see the dipstick tab and where it's bolted in. So I'm going to unbolt that from here, hopefully with some extensions, and then I should be able to wiggle it out. That took some dicking around. The old 18 volt Roby wouldn't do it, so I had to rip out the old air powered one. This screwed me a few years ago, and this is actually stuck on here. I cannot separate that extension, so to get the length I needed to get to the bolt, I needed to use the big one on there. It's good. It almost flung off and killed me a couple of times, but we're okay. It's all good. The bolt is loose. It's finger tight now, but I can't get it all the way out. So I'm hoping that once the trans is dropped, it'll pop off. I just popped the car down on the hoist and removed this dipstick tube. Well, not the tube, but the dipstick part, because I know that's going to snag on a wire or something when I've got the transmission mostly out, and then I won't be able to get to it. So I've just left the bare tube. As far as I know, there's nothing else left holding that except for the bells, the bolts on the bell housing, and the 4 bolts on the cross member. So I'm going to get the trans jack underneath and start loosening that. I'll set the camera up on tripod. Change of plans. I'm going to try and get to a couple of them up here because I did them up too tight, it would seem, because I cannot break them with my impact at all. So I'll try from here. There's the top 3 bell housing bolts. Quite difficult, not going to lie. Had to remove the fuel pressure regulator just so I could get my hands down the gaps in the back here. I mean, it's not impossible, but it's not nice, especially at the top one. But they're done now. The rest are easy-ish from the bottom. So back up and there it goes. Out. Look at that. Wasn't too bad, I say now, after going through it all. I don't think it's going to be anywhere near as easy to put back in. Some of these bolts, like especially this top one, I kind of had to drop it out. So getting it lined up to put back in is going to be a nightmare. But either way, it's out, and let's get it on the stand. Alright, shifter is stripped off now. A couple of the other bits of crap are taken off. Can't get the actual dipstick tube out at the moment, and I don't want to knock it off the stand trying, so that can just sit there. And I've got this bolted on, just need to lift it now, pop it in there. It's on the stand now. So, ready to start pulling this down. But that's the job for tomorrow. I don't have the stomach for it today. Okay, new day. Let's get this piece of shit stripped. there's the valve body and everything on the valve body side off. Nothing looks obviously wrong yet. Fluid is still somewhat clean in here. 8 check balls seem to be in the right locations. Everything seems alright, although I haven't given everything a close inspection yet. The only thing I did notice is this plate looks like it's wrong on the valve body, which I'm not sure about because that came assembled. I bought that as a complete unit, as a refurb to put in. It's quite dirty around here, around this accumulator, so that might just be a place where trash sort of builds up. But I'll see when I dig in a bit further. Next I'm going to pull the cooler fittings off the side and the speed sensors off the other side, and I'll flip it so I can start working on the pump end. You would have seen me hammer that into there. That bolt was completely munted, so I hammered in a Torx bit in there, and it was really tight, and the Torx bit snapped off, so that's going to be fun to deal with. That's as deep as I can get into this without fixing that bolt. That bolt here holds in disassembly here. So I need to fix that up before I can go any further. But I can get this apart and have a look at it, see what's going on in there. These clutches look like they're brand new, which is not a surprise because they are. And I might pull this pump apart just for shits and giggles as well. I'm wondering if my pump needs that little doodad thing that I think goes in here, goes from this bolt, covers that hole. I bought this as a complete replacement pump and it was bolted together when I got it, but I don't have that little doodad. I've seen some people using it. I don't know if it's for all models. I don't even know what it's for really, but interesting. bastard out. Just a few tools. It was fun. Alright, now I'm going to try and make that a hole that is useful and try really hard to not break another tool in it. That's one tough bolt. Alright. Considering that's screwed into an aluminium housing, that's amazing that the bolt was that difficult. But alright, now I can keep going. Bits out. This is the overdrive drum. This has always been tight in this case. I've had this out a few times. I just bang on the back of here and fuck it up a little bit, but that's alright. I don't think it'll hurt it. I might replace this because there's a later revision that's got a piece missing, and then the actual plate retains onto the pin in the case. So I think that's an older generation one. I don't know if it's compatible with my case or if it matters at all, but I might change it anyway now that I've got it apart. So let's put that aside. Band. I think that's the reverse band. I think. I don't know. It's a band. I don't know if it's any good or not. Hard to tell, I suppose, when someone doesn't know what they're looking at. But it's a band. It's got material on it still. This bit, I had a little brass washer behind it where it sat on top of here. So I guess that's right. I'll have to check my book as I go back through it to work out if all these pieces are in the right spot, but I might pull this apart. Spraggy bit. Freewheels clockwise, locks anti-clockwise. I'll have to go back again and check the book to see if that's right. This is the part, I think this is the part that was suspected of being wrong. So it definitely locks anti-clockwise and freewheels clockwise. But I don't know if that's right or not, so I might just stop it here before I go any further on that and just check to see what the book says. Alright, check the book. This is correct. It's supposed to freewheel clockwise and lock anti-clockwise, so that's assembled correctly. I'm going to pull it apart anyway, because I don't think this has got the good 36 elements brag, and while it's apart, if I'm going to all this effort to go through the bloody thing, I'm going to at least make some improvements. So I'm going to check that. I also noticed that there's close to nowhere at all from that band. I mean, I know it's a new part, but I would have thought with 100 kilometers of driving there'd be a more noticeable pattern here. So maybe that is not applying properly as well. I don't know. The clutches themselves look alright. Like, they look close to new. You can see the colouring starting to come off the frame. Fucking. You can see the colouring starting to come off the steels, but there's nothing wrong with it. Not that I can know. I mean, not that I'm an expert, but it doesn't look like there's anything wrong with it. So I'll take this apart now. So that does have a 36 elements brag in it, so don't need to worry about that. Looks like a fancy dual cage one as well. This looks munted though. There's some jagged bits on there, so I might just try and tidy that up. I'm not sure if that's a critical failure point or not, but it's a bit sharp. Sharp's not good, so yeah, look at that. That bloody piece of shit's hard to get off, isn't it? What a bastard. Alright, what else can we pull apart? Let's pull apart this other drum. Just gonna go over here for a second. That's got a bloody decent groove in it. Considering that's straight on a clutch, that looks bloody interesting. Yeah, there's no trash in there yet that I can find, but that might be a replacement item. Clutch stack. Still looks clutchy. Steels have obviously had some colour come off them again. Yeah, probably normal. But yeah, that's bloody interesting, that. This bit that everyone hits with a screwdriver for reasons. I can hit it with a screwdriver too, I suppose. I could do that. Look at that. Yeah. So it's got that bloody mark in it as well. Maybe it's a machining thing. I'll have to research that. Brass washer in there. That rust. Staining of some kind. Okay. Probably rust. That wave plate in there. Cool. Moulded piston. All looks alright. Still a mystery. I'm going to have to keep digging. I think that's going to be it for tonight though. Tomorrow job. New day. Back to work. So this is what we've got out so far. This is what remains, which I think is intermediate clutches, center support in the rear section. Let's pull it out. That's pretty much everything stripped out. The band is still in there. That Sonax no walk bushings in the back still. You can see the cup plug from when I did the dual feed mod is there. Hopefully that's in the right side. I'll have to verify all those sort of things. You'll also see one of the sealing rings is left off on here. Second one, which I believe is correct for the dual feed mod. But again, I'll have to verify just to make sure I've done all this right, because still not seeing anything that appears to be broken or damaged or anything. So I'm going to pull all these things apart. I'll pull all this apart just to check it all and see what else is in there, but everything looks okay so far. Might just wrap the video up here, I think. So as seen, mostly disassembled. That'll do me for now. I've got to get a compressor to get this shit off. I did it last time in the press with an assortment of different spaces and shit, but it's just so sketchy and quite hard work. So I think I'm going to either make or buy a compressor, and then I'll pull the rest of this shit apart just to check all of the lip seals in here. I want to pull the valve body completely apart, make sure that the valves aren't in backwards or something retarded like that. I did buy that complete, but people make mistakes. It could be broken, could be misassembled. Who knows? I'm going to do all of that. I'm going to measure all of the solenoids. I'm going to check all the clearances for all the clutch packs, the whole works, the total stack height, everything by the book. And I'll bang it back together. But that's going in a different video, because otherwise this video is going to be 3 hours long. So, hope you've enjoyed what you've seen so far. Like and subscribe. There will be more, and I won't hold it against anybody if they choose to skip the next video, which is assembling this, because it's going to be boring for those that don't care, and that might be everybody. So, thanks anyway, guys.